Welcome to The Current Potential, the podcast where healing, aligned living, and intention meet the deeper current of who we are. I'm your host, Melissa Curtin. Here we explore holistic health, mind, body, heart wisdom, empowering stories, and what's current in natural healing, all to help you reconnect with your own inner current and potential. Welcome to this episode of The Current Potential. I'm your host, Melissa Curtin. For this episode, I'm excited to sit down with Stephanie Potts in Seneca, South Carolina. I'm thrilled you're here with us to share more about Reiki and energy healing. Thank you so much for joining me today for this conversation.
Thank you, Melissa. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Please introduce yourself for the listeners and share a little bit about your personal background. Can you share a bit about your formal education and your professional background?
Thank you. I hope everyone's doing very well today. I began my career in corporate jobs as an international field engineer going all over the world for 15, 20 years. And I always ended up at places that had very high spiritual energy. And eventually, after I left engineering, the corporate life, I decided to do health and life coaching for a few years to just fill in the gap until I found what was working for me as a job or as something I was passionate about. So I ended up getting involved with crystal healing as a sidestep from the health coaching, and that sparked more passion within me. And I eventually rolled that into pranic healing as well as Reiki, and just developing my intuition over the years and using all these different tools and modalities to help my clients with energy healing and help them get over any emotional or physical disturbances that they may have at this time.
That's super interesting, the shift, and of course, how our life paths and purpose evolve and build as we grow. You mentioned that you were a field engineer and you have education in that field, right? Formal education.
Oh, yes, I have a master's in engineering.
And that's where you use that degree to travel the world. And you said you went to like energy vortex areas, or you noticed the energy in different areas. Is that what you said?
Yes. So when I was traveling and whenever I had free time, whenever I wasn't working, I would take like mini vacations or a weekend or proper vacations. And somehow I ended up at places wherever they were in the world that were high spiritual energy places. Always felt connected to them, and they always made me feel healthy and happy. And so eventually something clicked in my mind that maybe this is something I need to pay attention to.
Interesting. So can you walk us through the path of how you found Reiki? And you mentioned that, you added modalities along the way.
Yes.
But how did you find the energy healing world from engineering?
So I think it found me, or it pushed me a bit. 20 years ago, I was in an airport, I think it was Houston, and I was trying to pick up a couple of books to help me sleep, to read before I slept on the airplane to go back overseas. And one of the books that stood out to me was a book on Reiki, and I'd never really focused on anything related to that side of healing before. And for some reason, it stood out to me. So I picked it up and bought it. I actually didn't read it for 10 years. So it sat on my bookcase for 10 years. And eventually, I picked it up and I thought it was interesting. And just synchronicities started happening. Just opportunities started showing up. And I think my life was a bit guided by some other forces, we'll call them angels, that led me to meet people that were into energy healing or that were into Reiki, and they would always say that I should try Reiki, I should try energy healing. They thought that I would love it. And so eventually that's what happened. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and I thought I would bring that to other people. I thought it was an amazing way to heal.
That's amazing. Were there any signs? I mean, it sounded like you had a traditional education, you were in engineering, you traveled for work, pretty traditional path. Was anyone in your family a healer? Were there any early signs in your childhood or your youth where you were drawn to energy or healing?
So I think when I was younger, like most children, there's a higher sensitivity to the energy world because we haven't had a lot of formal training yet and formal ideas of other people that are pushed onto us that kind of negate the energy world, which is not bad. It's just how things are in certain areas. And I think when I was looking at people, I had some sense to whether or not that person had good energy or had bad energy or had something really dark attached to them. And at one point, I would tell my parents, and one of my parents would tell me, no, that's good. Keep focusing on that, develop that. And another parent would tell me, no, that's not real. You're going to focus on engineering. So I ended up focusing on engineering. And my great grandmother is of Western Europe, and she was very much into helping people heal with the love of Jesus and Mary. So she was a very faithful Catholic and would focus on prayer and then putting her hands on people to help them heal.
Mm-hmm.
So there may be some in line with my heritage, but there's room for development. There's room for development and reawakening senses and learning different skills.
Okay. Yeah. Did you spend any time with your great-grandmother, or was she already passed?
When I was very young, I would love going over to her house and just sitting with her and having a cup of tea because I felt her house felt so welcoming. She was so kind and so loving and calm. And it was funny because every time she would put her hand on me, like if I was agitated or if I'd hurt myself, cut myself, or burned myself, there was always a sense of inner calm that would take over when I was around her. And I just felt peaceful and very loved when I was with her. And I think that's a very important part.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah, a very important part of healing is being connected and calm and moving to a space of love.
Definitely. I think love is at the base, right, of all healing, truly.
It should be. If it's not, it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. So people have heard the term Reiki. People are referred to as Reiki masters. I know that there's different levels within the training. Can you explain, especially to the listeners who don't really know what Reiki is? Maybe they've heard the term or they associate it with energy healing. Can you share what Reiki is and what is the scope of this modality?
So Reiki energy, depending on who you talk to, because there's a lot of different variations depending on what part of the world you discuss it in, is the ability for a healer to access one of the healing realms. In this case, it would be the Reiki healing realm, a different dimension of energy, pull it down within the healer's body and use their hands to pass that healing energy to an individual, whether that's a person, an animal, plants, the earth, or different situations, to bring harmony and health back to that situation or back to that individual by moving energy out. So moving out whatever dirty, diseased energy is there and replace it with the healing, positive Reiki energy.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for that more elaborate explanation. So why is Reiki and energy healing important? Why do we need this form of healing?
I believe as human beings, we can tend to have negative energy attached to us, whether intentionally or unintentionally, from various instances, circumstances in life, different thought patterns, emotions, physical activity, situations. And they have a tendency to affect our physical body, but also our energetic body. And when these get stored and transferred to the individual, sometimes they get stuck. We may not know how to process them and release them, which is the best way to do is instantaneously process the emotion or thought that may be negative or harmful in nature and let it go. And when we don't do that, the negative energy can be stored in the physical or energetic bodies or the biofield of a person. And if we don't use some sort of therapy or modality of healing that can sit there for years or decades and manifest into different physical diseases or ailments. And we can use Reiki and other healing modalities to move that energy back out of the physical body or back out of the energetic body.
Yes, and I've seen that. And that same perspective I've heard across many different modalities, and even like someone doing Tai Chi or Qigong or even rebounding on a trampoline or just ways of energy transference and moving it through, with thoughts like you were mentioning, whether it's trapped emotions or things get stuck in the body. I mean, that's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's all of that. And Reiki it sounds like can address more broadly how, the energy that is, like you said, kind of stored in those areas and move it through. Does that sound accurate?
Right, but Reiki can also be used for individual problems. Say for instance, someone's left knee hurts. They have physical pain in their left knee. So Reiki will address that. So you can use it for something specific, physical pain in the body, or in some sort of emotional distress that someone has. Maybe they constantly find themselves repeating negative thoughts either about themselves or other people. That's something that Reiki can address. It brings back harmony and inner peace and inner calm to the individual, allowing healing energy to flow easily through their body and push out whatever's causing the physical pain, whatever's causing the emotional distress. It can be used for overall health, but it can also be used for individual ailments and diseases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you made that distinction, because sometimes when people think of energy, they just think it's invisible and it's, it's in their biofield and everything. But sometimes this stored or trapped energy, repeated negative belief systems or belief systems that don't really work for people or don't serve them, actually could show up as joint pain, knee pain, referred pain in a different part of their body, organ issues, other things. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that. Now I'm curious, what are the most common reasons someone is looking to have a Reiki session with you?
I seem to attract people that are looking for help with either stress issues or physical issues and negative repetitive thoughts about themselves, or clearing negative cords. That's when a negative cord, for instance, is when an individual can dwell on something in an unhealthy way or have it projected at them. And so what we do is we sever that energetic cord to another individual or a situation, because that has the tendency to bring down your own energy field, which is not healthy. I'm more open to and attract people that are willing to make a change and are open to other modalities other than just taking a pill and hoping that something gets resolved. These are people that want to see actual change in their life and are willing to start with themselves.
Mm-hmm. Could you offer some examples of how Reiki has directly helped you? And then maybe some examples of clients that you've had and how it's helped them?
From my personal experience with Reiki, and I do it as upkeep, actually. I actually hire someone to do cleaning on me for the stuff that I can't get or that is unknown to me. It's within my subconscious. Mine was more work stress related at the beginning, negative cords to other people, negative situations. And then eventually I learned to develop my skill to work on physical ailments. I know a few times I've used it when I've been playing pickleball, and I get slammed with a plastic pickleball and I'll get a nasty instantaneous swelling of the leg, and then I can use my hands and just place it over it, and the swelling will go, what seems like miraculously, down. But it's actually the Reiki working with the body to help bring it back into harmony and say that the body is safe. It's okay. There was a slight injury, but it's okay to move on. The injury has not actually occurred to an extent that requires any other attention. So it's telling your body that it's okay to release this energy that seems to be trapped.
Okay. And then regarding clients or other people that you've worked on, both in person, because you can do this remotely, right? I had Reiki done remotely. Are there any examples that stand out to you that people experienced or shared with you?
The common thread with the people that I work with is that they move into a space of inner peace and are able to allow their body to go into a calm state, which promotes their natural healing ability, whether that's physical or energetic. There's a few instances where, like as the healer, you can feel the negative energy that's trapped or the negative cord that's attached to that person. And it's just removing those and just getting the feedback like, oh my gosh, I felt the energy shift, or I just feel like I feel lighter. I don't feel heavy here, or this joint doesn't hurt anymore, or I'm getting excellent sleep now.
So that's like a sense of relief that they would feel after having a session.
Yeah.
So you alluded to it before, but you were saying that you have sessions done on you for what you can't clear. So if you could share what modalities you seek to help your energy system and why that's needed, especially as a practitioner healer.
Right. So as a healer, if you don't do proper energy cleansing on yourself, and from working with clients that have, I'll say dirty energy, but it's not really dirty. It's just, it's energetic smog from your clients that can stick to the healer. So I make sure that I'm constantly cleaning out my aura and my physical body just from an energetic hygiene perspective. But also if I've got issues that I may not have known how to transmute when I was younger, like say something happened when I was a kid, and with a child's mind, you don't always know how to process something emotionally or intellectually. So that can get stored in the body. And if I don't even remember it, then I don't know that I need to work on it. So what I do is I hire someone else, whether that's pranic healing or acupuncture or another Reiki master, to just do a general cleanse. And then they sense if there's something out of whack or out of balance within me, then they can clear it. And then it shifts and it moves out energetically. And that has been great for me. And it helps me clear out things that I may not have been aware of. So that way I can be of more use and of higher service to the clients that I see. Because then I start to recognize different energies moving in them. And I'm like, oh yeah, this needs to come out, or this is an internal cord, or this is an external cord. I can help them shift this because I know it exists.
And I think as a healer and practitioner, absorbing other people's energy, sometimes even after a session, you need to clear. So it's helpful, like you said, for that energetic hygiene to work with someone.
I am a person that chooses to readily release any negative energy, any stuck energy that doesn't serve my highest good. Whatever that looks like, however it shows up, even if that means I have to go through some temporary stress or temporary uneasiness, my goal is to get it out. So I will do and I will seek out a variety of other modalities until I find something that works. Like if I have a phantom pain that shows up, my first thought is, what is that associated to energetically? How can I move this out of my body? And if I can't do it myself, I seek help, because I know for it to stay there and create pain is not good for me long term. And it's better to get it to move out than it is to get to stay there. And so I look at my clients the same way. If I can't help them clear something, I will recommend another healer, or I will recommend another modality to help them get out of that state of dis-ease or suffering, because that's not healthy for anyone in the long term. So the point is to get as much negative or dirty energy out as possible so we can be the best version of ourselves here for ourselves, our family, and everyone we come into contact with.
Definitely. I think the more clear our energy field is, or the less gunked up it is, for lack of a better word, I think the better, because we can be a more clear vehicle to serve. and a more clearer vehicle for ourselves, and that enables better health. What are some simple ways, maybe we can discuss that, about how people can clear their energy field and release energy on their own? I mean, I think of like just being in the sunlight. Like for me personally, being around the ocean, being around water, grounding.
Those are all great examples. Yeah, sunlight, grounding with your feet on the earth, waterfalls, the ocean, salt water, using white light. I guess depending on what anyone's belief system is, you can ask for God's guidance, the angels, Jesus, Buddha, the universe, or any saint. You can ask for them to help you clear out any negative energy that doesn't serve your highest good at this time from your physical and energetic bodies, including your bioelectromagnetic field that surrounds the body. Some other things are to keep your thoughts, emotions, actions very, very clean as much as you can. Stop dwelling on negative things. Stop letting other people put their negative ideas on you, or
Mm-hmm.
negative or dirty food, water, or self-care products. Those all affect the overall health of your body, and that affects your energy field, because at the end of the day, we're all energy, we're all frequencies, and we have a lot of water in our body. So if you can keep what is over 70% of your body clean, that affects the overall health of your system, your electrical system, your magnetic system, your biofield, and keeping that as clean as possible will help shift out a lot of negative energy.
Definitely. Just hydrating and keeping it moving, keeping that energy moving in your body. And also, I know you hike, so like being in nature, also, we have cats, and I have also dogs, being around animals, just moving, breathing, releasing our emotions, even sound. You and I have attended sound bath healing together, even just being around sound and just kind of moving our emotions through using sound and tuning forks, even if people have them.
Right. And even depending on someone's religious or spiritual beliefs, going to a spiritual place and just spending time there, because there's a lot of spiritual energy, whether that's a church or a temple or nature, and just being there and finding joy and spiritual energy within that. That does a lot to help keep your mind and your emotions very clean. And that affects the choices that we make as individuals, what we put in our body, how we interact with other people, what we give to the world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all connected. It's not just one simple thing. It's a lifestyle of keeping everything more clean and more joyful. Go to things that bring you joy, and then that will permeate throughout your body.
One of the easiest ones, and I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but bath, just taking a bath, a salt bath. I think you've suggested that to me and to other people when we've been in company of others. Can you speak more to what doing a salt bath does?
So salt has the tendency to break up negative energy. So there's also salt baths. On my website, I offer energetic healing salt baths for individuals if they want to do something with a little bit more power on it. It's infused with Reiki and essential oils that have been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years for their therapeutic and spiritual benefits. Salt will break up negative energy. So not only do I do salt baths, but I also ingest Celtic sea salt.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But also for the ability to go through my system from the inside and break up any small negative energies that it comes into contact with.
I was reading recently, and you probably do this, but to keep a bowl of salt, and I don't remember what kind of salt they recommended, but on your bedstand next to when you sleep, and there's something about clearing the energy or how that absorbs negative energy overnight. So I thought that was really interesting.
Again, it's the salt's property of breaking up negative energy. So anytime you use salt, whether you're standing in it, whether you're bathing in it, whether you take it internally, or you have it around the room, if you're going to have it around the room, I would probably put it in a bowl with water. That way you can pull in, and you want to use intention with anything that you're doing. Use intention that salt water or this place that I'm visiting, it's going to break up any negative energy, and it's going to trap it in that saltwater bowl, and then just dump it out and just redo it every night or every week.
Absolutely. So adding to this idea of clearing one's energy field and, that helps with the energy flow, kind of unsticking our energy. We've talked a lot about energetic hygiene. All of this points to what we spoke about before about frequency in our experience here. And the more we're aligning to more positive frequencies, that helps improve our healing, maintains our good health, our body, and our vessel. And being in this positive vibrational state and tuning into what makes us feel good allows for more of that. Like attracts more opportunities for growth and inspires our wellness and our joy. So that's how I see like having a cleaner energy field. And it's not a judgment thing with other people, but just tending to your own energy is probably one of the most important things we can do. And how we show up really influences not just our field, but the field around us. I'd love to hear your insight on that as well.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that we mentioned are easily accessible and they're free. Step outside or go out in the sunlight or put your feet out on the ground. Or most people have salt in their home, whether they're cooking with it. All these things are available. And by keeping our own energy field clean, keeping our house free of clutter, keeping the dust and dirt out of our home, we allow for more healthy energy or prana, life force, to flow through our homes, flow around us, and keep us healthy, our homes healthy. And when we're in a healthier and happier state, we reflect that out to the world. We interact with people in a better state. In most instances, we make better choices and we attract to us other good things and we repel the negative things. Once you start cleaning up your own life, from an energetic standpoint and your home, certain people will just naturally spin out of your life and you'll start attracting, like you said, better opportunities, nicer people, healthier people that are more in alignment with where you're headed, which is a healthier version of you. And by there's a beautiful quote, and it's debatable whether he said it or not, but Mahatma Gandhi is attributed with saying, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And I think that's really from an energetic standpoint, but also mental, emotional, physical, how you behave and then send that out into the world, that makes like a ripple. And you get to decide whether you want that to be a loving, kind, compassionate ripple, or if you want that to be jagged and ugly and mean and unhealthy.
And a hurricane, or it's like, do you want your personal hurricane rippling out to the world, or do you want some gentle waves going out, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's forceful or just, pushy, you get to decide how that is taken by other people, how other people perceive it, how other people feel you when you walk into a room. Do you want to be the person that everyone is snarling at because you have funky energy, or you want to be like, oh, hey, so-and-so just got here. Man, she's always bright. She's always lighting up the room. Let's go chat with her. Let's go see how we can help her, how we can work together, collaborate with. We get to choose what we bring out to the world and then what we attract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that a lot in the spaces where I work or interact with people. And I find that the people, whatever they're doing, whether they're praying, whether they have good habits throughout the day, that they're keeping their energy in check, that they tend to be more positive, more upbeat, more joyful, but they really what I notice is they're more clear. They have more clarity in their life for the direction that they're headed. There's something about this, it's like the difference between somebody who's brain foggy and confused to someone that is very clear and peaceful with clear eyes, right?
Yes, exactly. It's clarity of mind and inner peace. That way we don't get knocked off balance by someone else's chaos energy or chaos in the world. We can separate ourselves from that and say, okay, that chaos, that negative energy is over there. I didn't create it, and I don't want to own that, so I don't have to. I can stay over here. I'm peaceful. I'm loving. I'm kind. I can witness that. And it doesn't have to negatively impact me. I can still go about my day and make healthy decisions for myself and my loved ones and just keep moving forward and not being stuck in the mud.
Right, not stuck in the mud, and you don't have to internalize that. I mean, I catch myself. I mean, we're all human. If I'm that person having a negative moment, it's like, okay. But to be aware enough to say, okay, I need to address this. I need to shift this, or I need to leave the space or come back when I'm feeling a little bit more clear and grounded.
Exactly. And leaving the space is very important, especially if it's a negative or unhealthy space. I think people need to be more discerning about the situations and people that they allow to remain in their lives. That's a big deal. And once you start cleaning up your own energy, you can have the clarity of thought to say, okay, this doesn't serve me anymore. This isn't for my highest good. I don't need to go out and, for example, go drinking with these people every Tuesday night. I don't want to go do that. It doesn't bring me joy. It's not healthy. And I could be so much more productive. Let's say, well, why don't I go and I can volunteer somewhere and do something that's more important and productive and positive in my home or in my town or wherever I decide to volunteer. Do something good.
Absolutely. And speaking of doing something good, I wanted to talk more about what you offer. Like, can you share a bit about what you offer and your approach in a healing session with Reiki? And I know that you mentioned you do prana healing work as well, but in an in-person session or even remote, like what should someone expect in that session with you? How do you approach it?
Definitely. So I make sure that I keep myself energetically clean before I even get to the session. So there's prep that goes into my physical and energetic body before I do a session with someone. And then once I'm there, we're physically there. I ask for protection from any harmful energies, and then I ask for guidance and for healing light. And whatever healing light is appropriate for that person at that time. I do several modalities. I tend to lean more towards Reiki. I also do pranic healing. I also incorporate crystals. And I've also am familiar with the white light of the Essenes. So whatever I feel called to use on that individual to help clear out any negative energy, sometimes I'll scan their body with my physical hands from a distance. I don't always put my hands on an individual, or I just have a knowing. I have something that in my gut, I'm like, okay, well, they've got something going on with their spleen or their liver. Make sure you clean there and cut all the negative cords. So I did a lot on the front end. Once the individual is on the table, they're relaxed. I do a lot to clear out as much negative energy as possible, disconnect any negative cords from them. And then I will go back in with usually Reiki and infuse their entire physical body and energetic bodies with healing Reiki energy, whether that's in person, whether that's remote. And each individual has a different experience. Even say I did a session for you and you could have one experience this week, and then next week you could have a totally different sensation or no sensation in your body because we change every day. We're exposed to different situations every day. We have different thought patterns that can come up during the day. And so each time is different. So it's hard to say that, okay, well, this time you're always going to feel like tingling here, or you're going to feel cool here or warm here during a Reiki session because it can change, and everybody has different sensitivity levels to the energy world.
It's so true. I had a session once in Washington, and the Reiki healer that I went to, she was wonderful. But what came up in my session was there was a lot of energy coming out from my left knee, and she picked up right away that I had an old injury and that the knee wanted to be addressed or acknowledged. So there was some clearing that needed to happen with that, which I thought was pretty neat. And they also, on the island where I used to live, they used to do something called a Reiki jam, where they had multiple tables in the room and people would come and different Reiki practitioners would be working on different people, and it was like a big open room. So that was pretty neat to see.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is because you are working on people that have a variety of different belief systems. So can you talk a little bit about free will and your approach in working with someone?
I tend to respect the individual's religious beliefs or non-religious beliefs because who they pray to or how they pray, as long as it's not harming anyone else, is is someone's business. It's like you said, it's free will. I don't do anything to violate their free will. I work in collaboration with whatever beliefs they have to move the negative energy out, because negative energy and positive energy, the healing energy, is neutral. It's there to help people, regardless of your religion, your political affiliation, anything. It's available to every single human on this planet to help them heal. And so I allow the individual, once they're open, once they come to me or they're magnetized to me for a session, I don't even get into religion with someone. I just say, okay, this is what we're going to do. I ask for blessing for me, and I ask for protection for me from what I call guardian angels and healing angels. But I don't put that on my client. I say it internally, and I ask for their highest good without causing harm.
Mm-hmm.
Most Reiki or energy healers will do that. You do have some that are strictly, they're Christian, and they work with Christians, and they work with the saints, and they work with God and Christ consciousness and Jesus to move energy out. I'm more open to whoever wants to provide healing energy, and if they're of the light, I will work with them to help this individual heal within what their life purpose is.
Beautiful. Is there a general amount of sessions that you feel, I mean, like you were saying, we're interacting with energy all the time. It's important to clear the energy out, but generally when somebody comes to you, is it a few sessions? I mean, is it dependent on the client's willingness to release and let go? Just in terms of the frequency of how often someone would come.
Exactly. Just like you said, it depends on the individual's willingness to let go of some energies. I've had some individuals that I've worked on. I've done a couple sessions on them, and I keep trying to get them to come back in because I know they're holding on to a negative relationship with an emotion that is not serving their highest good, but it serves them at that time because they get attention and empathy from other people by going there into that negative space. So it's totally up to the individual. Some people I've had in and they want to work on something specific, and it's like 1 or 2 sessions for that person. Or I come back and they're like, well, I need to see you like once a month. We're going to do an energy clearing. I always make the recommendation when I'm with that person, because we're all different and we hold energy differently. Some people are more willing to let go than others. At the end of the session, I'll let them know, well, we cleared a lot. Let me know if you want to set something up. If not, all the best. For some people, and other people are like, you need to come back in 2 weeks and we need to address this issue and we need to get it clear, or you need to see someone else or a different modality, but it's best for you to clear that energy since it's already starting to come out. If they're still holding on to it, because sometimes there's an emotional attachment to that.
Well, people tend to hold on and not want to release what's familiar, even if it's causing suffering and pain, unfortunately, right?
Correct. It's clear. It's fine. They realize, oh, why was I holding on to that for the past 30 years? So it's once you can get them to the point where when someone decides to release it, it's going to come out, whether it's during the session or the next day or the next week. The energy that's stuck is going to come out when that person is ready to release it.
Similar to when you get a massage. I know the massage therapist will tell me, make sure you drink lots of water because we did a lot of work today moving, your muscles and your body. Is it the same for Reiki? Is that a recommendation? I mean, I know you recommend just to drink water in general to move energy, but are you supposed to drink more water after a Reiki session?
Yes. Anytime you get any sort of energy healing, whether that's Reiki, pranic healing, acupuncture, even going to a sound bath or someone using tuning forks, you have your energetic body, but you also have your physical body. And what the healer's working with is, in general, the energetic body. And that negative energy is either going to instantly dissipate or it's going to travel through the physical body to be released. And the easiest way to do that is it's going to send it back through your blood, back through your elimination system to come out of your body, either through sweat or other mechanisms, and water is the best way to flush it out. It keeps everything moving and it will attract it and help move it out of your body.
Beautiful. So, Miss Stephanie, can you share why you do what you do? Why is this work so important to you?
There is a point where you get to heal. And as a healer, when you are able to look at people or be in their presence and you can become aware of their suffering. And I think it's a part of having compassion for another human being or an animal or the plants in the forest or Mother Earth, that you don't want someone to stay in a suffering state and you offer to help them. I think that's why it's important to me. I've seen so many other healers help people. I've helped people. I've had healers help me, and it's done wonders for just how I see the world now. There's more of a emotional and mental maturity and calmness that comes from it. And so I'm able to see other people and I want to lift them up out of the mud. I don't want to get down in there with them, but I want to help people because being in a suffering state or a diseased state is not fun. If someone's there, they're usually cranky, they're not happy, and I want to help them out of that. And if my modality helps them, great. If they want to go seek some other thing, that's also great. I also use running to help me as a meditation. So there's a bunch of stuff out there to help people. And this is one of the ways that I choose to do it.
So where can someone learn more about what you offer and explore working with you?
My website is edenslightwellness.com. And that's where I have information about booking individual sessions, whether that's in person or remote. I also do house clearing and business clearing because you never know what you're stepping into, someone else's energy, whether there was sickness or death in a home or a lot of anger and angst in a business as well. So I help clear out that energy. So I also sell energy healing bath salts that people can use to help clear their energy field. And if they don't feel like doing a whole hour-long session or don't want to make the time or want to add something on top of that, I provide energy healing bath salts for purchase on Etsy, and the link to that is on my website. It's one of my energy healing products. And I look forward to helping people heal and get out of the mud. It's a wonderful place to be once you step on the rocks above the mud. It's beautiful up here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'll include your website and the Etsy shop link in the show notes. And to close, what resources, quote, or inspiration would you like to leave the listeners with?
I believe that we are fully in charge of how we bring ourselves out into the world. And we can either choose to bring light or we can choose to bring darkness. I choose to bring light, and I hope that others will too. And if anyone has they want to find more information on Reiki, there's Reiki.org is a wonderful resource. They do a lot of research of hospitals using Reiki and how that helps patients that are in the hospital or recuperating. There's also pranic healing in the U.S. That's another modality that I focus on as well. And they do a lot with helping people as well. And there's a lot more information on both of those.
Stephanie, I appreciate you being my guest today and providing an overview for the listeners on Reiki, energy healing, and frequency. It's been an absolute pleasure to connect with you.
Thank you, Melissa. It was a pleasure to be here and chat with you and bring more information and light to those seeking it. Thank you.
And to our listeners, thank you for listening to this episode on energy healing using Reiki with Stephanie. Thank you for tuning into the Current Potential podcast. If this conversation resonated, inspired your next step, or you know someone this episode can benefit, please share, subscribe, and find me on Instagram at The Current Potential for new episodes and related content, and on my website, melissacurtin.com. Until next time, be aligned, stay connected to your inner wisdom, and follow the current that supports your potential.